Hi everyone. I was just about to make a flip chart on shapes for maths, and it's a whole class activity that can then become one of the daily five. So I thought it was really good one to start off as whole class. So once again, we close this. It's untitled, so I always like to save as before I start. So we'll save as into my special maths folder and flip charts. So it's all about 2D shapes. And as I start, I always make sure I have it ready to go. So here it is. Once again, I'm going to use my favorite snippy tool. So easy. The way you can do this is hard. You could make it extremely hard. You could even crop each one and make them sort them into squares and everything. There's just so much you can do with flip charts. I love them, as you probably know. So here we have the the page that you would normally do. And as a whole class, I would probably say, okay, let's look at the shapes. Firstly, let's look at this 2D shape, and it's circle. What can you see with circles? And we would count them. And then we want to show that by counting them, we need to cross them off, or else it can get confusing later on. So we click on the pen tool, we click on the big highlighter. It acts as like a dot, and it is so good because it just really helps the kids when they come up to the board. So you could get a kid to come up the board and say, yep, kiwi fruit, that is a circle. So as we are learning tally marks, we might also start with tally marks. So I would get my snippy tool and I would get the circle and I'd paste it over here. Oops, remember using the arrow, paste, and I'd use Control V doing that. But you can right click paste. And then I would just do my tally marks. So I'd get the child to select kiwi fruit with the dot, and then they would click on the pen. So you're also getting digital technology with this too. And they would draw one and part of the tally marks. Then I would get the next chart up, and we would continue with dark blue. And I would say, okay, next one, donut, and then etc. The ring has got a circle and it also has a diamond. So that'll be an interesting one to talk about. We've got the button, and as you go along, you would obviously get the child to tally mark, and this is really good in all areas. It's good for counting, 2D shape recognition, tally marks, and this is all in the one place, and it's digital technology. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's check. 4 children have come up to the board to recognize the circles, and this is when the tricky part happens because there is now 4 and we know we have to cross them up. So just say a child comes up with cookie, perfect learning to say now we've got 5 and we carry on, etc. etc. We've got this one 6, and I think that's good. So we've got about 6 circles, and I would tally that child, the last child would tally mark, and then another child, especially in that area, you know how to write numbers, and it's a way to get them practicing and using digital tech. They can come up and write, okay, 6 circles. And then we go perhaps to a new colour, and we then, don't forget, I will add the snippy tool. So as I'm going along, I'm sort of exploring as to how is a child going to do this, and how are we going to work it as a whole class and engage everybody. So I'm not wanting to copy and paste as I'm teaching. This is already pre-made, but I'm doing this to show you how my thought process is happening. So I would then choose a different colour, be it triangle if you wish, or stick with blue. Another option, instead of the dot, dots, or a better way might be the thicker black, and you could put a cross over them, something that really acknowledges that we've already counted those. So you could have gotten the child to do that. It's seriously up to you, like, honestly. However you want to do it, it's of course. So we would then start doing triangles, and you might change the color to purple. Okay, come on up and check. So there's 1, and that's a 1 tally mark. 2 tally marks. Where's another triangle? 3 tally marks, etc., etc. So this is what I would do with this sheet, and then eventually I'd print it out and have it laminated, and with a whiteboard marker they would do it themselves on their own, and I would have a sheet there with numbers. You can also have this differentiated by getting numbers off clip art. You could say numbers 1 to 20 ready to go, and have images, and just copy so they can practice writing the number underneath the image. So that's another differentiation I could add on here. So I'll show you the finished product. I'll have a play around and then you will see. Okay, so I finished with some little additions, which would have been quite boring if you'd watched me the whole time. But just to show you, I have added some just information on what to do, just in case someone else picks up this flip chart and wants to know how to work it, or for like relief teachers and things. Yep, as we said before, tally marks in there, we've counted, we go to here. Another thing I realised that I really needed to show you was, just say a student scribbles or whatever, they cross out the shape, and you go, oh, and how do I get rid of this? Do not get the rubber, you'll be there all day. There is a quick way to do it. You click on this spray bottle, and it says clear annotations, which is whenever you use a pencil, and clear objects is whenever you copy a picture, so it'll just clear it if you haven't locked it. So clear annotations, done. So when even you've finished a lesson and you don't want to accidentally save the work, or you someone's made a mistake, you just clear annotations, or during group work, the next group, and you teach the children how to do that at the end of the rotations, clear annotations, so the next group has a fresh slate. On the next page, I just copied over those shapes again, but this time I decided to do a sorting activity where you would then sort up each, and I think it's a really good visual, and it's a good opportunity for students who couldn't quite grasp the last concept with the tally marks and everything. This just focuses on shape sorting. You could do counting as well, but at least this gives them that opportunity to just sort the shapes into their categories. Now you can see it can get a bit confusing about which shape goes where, and they might get a bit all over the place and confused. So in order to make sure that they're all organized and neat and ready to go, I would draw a line down the middle of each one. So I click on this arrow looking thing, I press line because I want it to be defined. I might pick that thickness, and I'll go with black because none of the shapes are black, and I would probably draw a line just to about there because I want all the shapes muddled down here. And if I want to keep that same shape every single time, I Control C and just go across. Sometimes it does that, I don't know why, but it's very annoying. So you could either do it that way, or another way is you just keep drawing. Yeah, would probably be my recommendation, because that would be a bit frustrating. So it's as easy as draw, defining each one and making sure it's all straight. Then I would probably draw a line under the shapes because that will define what we're looking for. And I'd probably do a dotted line down here just to show where all the shapes need to go back to. As you can see, this line is not long enough, so I click on the 4 squares with the dot so I can pull it right back down. And as you can see, when I pull them all back down to the sorting area, it's done. Okay, so now they're all sorted. My line somehow disappeared. I would just draw it again, get a few interesting things with this. But yeah, I think that this is a really good activity now. If you wanted to, for your own sake, like depends on you, you can actually write things like sort these shapes. The only reason I don't type onto flip charts is because I'm using beginner's bold, and some people that I send the flip charts to don't have beginner bold font, and sometimes it can come out looking all gibberish. So I tend to steer away from that if I'm sharing my flip charts, but by all means do it if you are doing it just for yourself, or if you're answering questions and you're going to clear them anyway. So if I was answering questions like, yes, does it have no sides or whatever, and then I would at the end of the lesson clear objects, but that would clear everything, but that's just showing you if I wanted to clear that wording. So you click on it with this triangle with the arrow and you just delete. Okay, so I hope that's helped, and I would just continue with my PDF, going through each sheet and giving a variety of options. As you can see, they've added a few different kind of items, so at least you can keep on your flip chart all the ones you already have, and then just add in the egg and the pencil case and yeah, the darts. So yeah, I hope that's helpful, and happy making math flip charts.